Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of This Week in Flyers Hockey, and we got a jam-packed show for you here tonight in the South Philly area. With me, as always, is my group of companions, obviously Austin Elmo and Joey Marks, but Joey, unfortunately, is still under the weather, so Austin is going to be doing all the toots and whistles here tonight. Austin, man, good to see you, man. How you doing, buddy?
Good to see you too, James. I'm feeling good. Heck of a week for Flyers hockey, man. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving and got to enjoy those games.
Yeah, we got a jam-packed show for you tonight, but also the great thing about it too is that the Flyers are playing very good hockey right now, very exciting. They come into this game here tonight against those arch rivals from Pittsburgh in the Battle of Pennsylvania. So let's talk about it, shall we? We talk about this week that the Flyers had a very good week overall. Obviously the last game was against New Jersey and a very good performance on Saturday. Then a late night heroics over in Florida against the Panthers on Wednesday. Then they got shut out by the Lightning on Monday, obviously. But the two games that were most important were the Florida Panthers and the New Jersey Devils on Wednesday before the holiday break and Saturday right after the holiday break. So Austin, the Flyers are playing really good hockey right now. So the best thing about it too is that this is a real good challenge here tonight coming up against this good Penguins team, and it should be a real fun matchup between these two clubs here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the momentum that Philadelphia is carrying coming into this game tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, the last second heroics by Philadelphia against Florida, going into New York to play the Islanders on Black Friday, getting the win in a shootout there, and then continuing your dominance against New Jersey in these past few games that you faced them over the past couple of weeks. You come in with a really good feeling going into being at home again, playing against a pretty heated rival in Pittsburgh. And for so early on in the season, this has some pretty solid implications already.
Yeah, it's gonna be maybe a preview of like a postseason, a postseason preview rather, like with these clubs that they're facing off against. So for me, I think the one thing that was the real positive this week with this Flyers team is that they compete every game. I mean, this has been going on for quite a while now. I would have thought, okay, maybe it would have slipped up a little bit, just like to see what they took on Tampa Bay. I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's like ebb and flow of the season, but they compete. I've been saying that from the very beginning of the season that they compete very well. They forecheck well. They got great goaltending, and the good thing about it is tonight Dan Vladar will begin to start against those Penguins, so that'll be a good matchup here tonight here in South Philadelphia. But man, I mean, it's making me feel like that somehow in some way, if they continue this trend of like going into the right direction, they could be a real scary team come playoff time, no question.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just look at the caliber of teams they did have to play against. New Jersey's one of the top three in the conference. Uh, Florida's not really what they were last season, but they still play very, very aggressively.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is a team that's really, really fighting for maintaining top position in the conference right now. And honestly, that game against Tampa, it could have ended up being an overtime game. It's just there were so many plays that Vasilevsky was just on his head that entire night. So
Right.
it was just a really tough break for Philadelphia there. You could have easily walked away from that with all four of them being wins if it wasn't for Vasilevsky having such an incredible game.
Yeah.
But overall, it's been a really solid week. The offense came alive. The team was playing really good defense. And one of the defensive pairings that I actually wanted to mention right off the top here that I saw throughout this week was the pairing now of Emil Andre and Jamie Drysdale has been incredible. Those two guys have been high pace, really, really strong play on the blue line in both ends of the game for this team, especially pairing them with the top line. The top two lines has been incredible to watch.
Yeah, and let's actually. The funny fact is, I was going to ask you about Emil Andre's level of success that he had against the Panthers a couple nights ago. But yeah, you're right. I mean that line with Drysdale and Andre have been like it's kind of like how the Flyers had with Pronger and Timonen back in the day, same level of feel. And I mean, Emil Andre is like one guy that I didn't expect to be as a real forechecker, and especially how much he has that shot. It's just I mean, he's been one. I mean, the one positive too is that the defense has been nothing short of spectacular too. Gonna be in Austin.
Yeah, overall, it's been really good play, especially this last week from the Flyers. They showed that they can, even in losing situations, I believe that was the first time they got shut out this year.
Yep.
Was against Tampa. And even though it was a shutout, there was a lot of fight in that Flyers team in that game. They just, like I said, it's just Vasilevsky was really, really good in that game, and we just couldn't get anything past him. We had multiple opportunities right on the doorstep that he was just getting himself over on, and easily could have been either 3-3 at the end of regulation, or Philadelphia would have had it 4-3. Like, it was just really tough for that one. You carry that momentum though, because even though you lost, you played really well against a really good team. And then you carried it into the Florida game, and they were even more tight on you than Tampa was. And you finally start to crack through that late in that game and get the push that you need to be able to get that win. And then that carries you through the holiday going into New York. You get on top of them early. They fight back. First of all, hats off to Kyle Palmieri, man. Guy was hurt making his way back to the bench and still made a play to be able to help his team finally get on the board. And that I felt like that was the catalyst play that, if Philadelphia didn't tighten up in the final minutes of that game, could have easily been what caused the entire comeback and win for New York.
No question.
And then you take that incredibly played, highly contested game against the Islanders, you carry that momentum into New Jersey, and you run through them again. It was just incredible play all the way throughout the week, and easily, like I said, easily could have been a 4-win week. You could have easily went undefeated that entire week. Just Vasilevsky sort of put the kibosh on that early, and you just had to fight your way through the rest of the week, and you did exactly that, and that's exactly what you want to see. And then again, coming back home, I had said this last week, if you could get at least 3 wins, you come home with serious momentum going into this Pittsburgh game, being back at home.
For sure.
This is exactly what you wanted to see for Philadelphia.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean, you basically said it best last week, is that that road trip was going to be, like, I guess you could say, a little bit of a gauntlet for them to see what they'll look like against good teams. And man, I mean, winning 3 out of 4 is like a very good tall task for this Flyers team going forward. And then tonight against the Penguins and against another good team up in Pittsburgh's a good team too. Obviously, they got like 20-year-old pros, and like the Crosbys and the Malkins and the Letangs, and it's I mean, the thing that makes it even more exciting is that, like, even though that if they lose a game here and there, they always bounce back the next game. It's like kind of like, dare I say this, but like how the Eagles were at the beginning of the season when they lost the game and they came back, and then, but now the Eagles are like a rock and a hard place, so I don't want to talk about that scenario. But overall, but the Flyers right now are just playing really good hockey. I mean, it's I always say it every time with a couple of friends of mine on Facebook, and also a couple of people that I know. I said, dude, this team just competes. They just they play a better sound of hockey than obviously we talked about last week with John Tortorella and all the level of. I think now all of a sudden, like, Tocchet is teaching these players how to win good hockey games, and they're showing in every which way. And I think that's going to be even more of a big rock to climb here tonight, especially. And I think they can be. I think if they find a way to win this game here tonight against Pittsburgh and against other teams like Florida and other teams in general, like, they could be really a good team. I mean, when the seeds like start to become more like for postseason play. I mean, right now they're in 3rd place in the Metro, and they have a very good reason why, in particular, that they should be the third best team in all of hockey right now, and they continue to show it in every game.
Yeah, and the month of December is going to be a really tough one for Philadelphia. I mean, we play. I mean, it's pretty much front loaded, but you play a lot of high caliber teams from both the Eastern and Western conferences this month. Mm-hmm. You start with a couple of middle of the pack teams in Pittsburgh and Buffalo, and then it's Colorado, San Jose, Vegas, home and home with Carolina the 13th and 14th, and then Montreal, Buffalo, Rangers, Vancouver, Chicago, Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary. Wow. To end out the year. Like, that's a gauntlet, man.
Yeah, man.
That is a heck of a month of teams that you have to play, and you just look at what they did to end out November here. Like they played really solid hockey. Just in the last 2 weeks, they won 5 of 7. 8
That's
of 10
amazing.
if you count going all the way back to the Edmonton game on the 12th. They've won 7 of 10. Like, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They won 7 of 10.
Oh, okay.
And it's been incredible play all across the board.
Yeah.
Like even in the games that we've lost, the 3-2 shootout loss to Ottawa, the 2-1 overtime loss to Edmonton, I feel like the 5-1 loss to Dallas is the one blip on the radar in those 10 games, because Dallas was just firing on all cylinders. They had a big momentum swing coming through to host Philadelphia in that matchup, and that's the one game that I feel like Philadelphia didn't have the best play out of that stretch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, you lost 3-0 to Tampa Bay, but you easily could have won that 4-0 if some of the pucks just bounced your way a little bit better.
Absolutely.
Aside from that, it's been incredible play, and you're going into some serious work here for the month of December, rounding out with Calgary on New Year's Eve in Alberta.
Wow.
So you have a long road ahead of you, not only for the end of the season, but just this month is a heck of a hill that you have to climb just to get to start off the new year. What is it? Edmonton, Anaheim, Toronto, and then a home and home with Tampa. No, I mean, not necessarily a home and home. It's the 10th and then the 12th of January. You host Tampa at home twice.
Yeah. So, for me, I think the one thing that the Flyers will have to do, especially in these games coming up soon, is that, sure. I mean, they got a gauntlet coming up here in the next couple of weeks or so. For me, I think they could be easily. I mean, they could easily probably win like 5 out of 7, like you said, or 7 out of 10, like you brought up there. I think that's the other thing too. More importantly than anything like that is, like, especially that you're going to be not going to be on home for a while because of like that holiday road trip. So I don't know when that starts. So I'm guessing it's probably going to start sometime soon. So, I mean, for me, you also want to have like home ice advantage and also want to get some good home wins, especially before the end of the new year too. So that's the big thing that the Flyers have to do too here tonight, especially against Pittsburgh. For me, I mean, I keep continuing to harp on this, but they just compete every game. I think that's the most important thing, is that, like, even though when they lose games, I mean, obviously that Dallas game was like kind of obviously Dallas is a good team. I got to admit, they're a very good team. I mean, they got really good players on that team that continue to show that the reason why they were in the Western Conference Final last year was a big reason why. But yeah, I mean, that's the big key here, especially what the Flyers have to do here if they want to try to win games whenever that matters the most. I mean, right now, I mean, if the Flyers like continue to play the same games like they always do in those later months of the season, I mean, that they could be a very good, they could be a real good scary playoff team come April for sure.
Yeah, and when you look at the schedule for the rest of the month, a lot of those are on the road. You have from today to the 11th at home, to the 13th, and then that second half of the home and home with Carolina is a 4-game road trip, back home against Vancouver for one, and then back out on the road to round out the new year. So this is going to be big for getting big key road wins going forward for this team, because a lot of that is going to help dictate where you're going to stand in the conference when playoff positioning does come near the end of the year. If you can win some more of these games on the road, because that was one of the more impressive road trips I've seen from Philadelphia in a long while. That was exactly what you wanted to see Philadelphia do, was carry the momentum that they had coming out of home ice play to take it on the road and be able to play as well as they do on home ice on other people's rinks. And you have a lot of road games this month. Right. So just take it one game at a time. That's going to be the main takeaway from this. Keep the play the same. Take every game as if it's game one of the season. You want to play as hard as you can, all 60 minutes. If you have to play extra, but play hard the entire time. And Philadelphia has done that consistently this year so far.
Definitely. And the last thing I'll say about this too is that if they play very well to the capability that they have all season, like, especially with that Olympic break coming up soon, I'm going to be really excited to see what that second half of the season is going to look like, and we're going to have a lot more exciting hockey going forward too. And that's the thing too. All right, let's move on here. Let's check out today. Actually, we got a game here tonight, obviously here in the South Philadelphia area between the Flyers and the Penguins. So Austin, I always talk about the keys of the game when the Flyers are not playing, but now since there's a game here tonight, what would your keys to the game here tonight would be like against this basically very good Penguins team coming into South Philly tonight?
You're probably looking at a goaltender matchup of Vladar Jarry more than likely.
Hmm.
And it's really just going to be just play the game that you've been playing. You know, this team, both teams are very, very staunch defensively, very explosive offensively, have really solid talent up and down the rosters. You just need to be able to get ahead of these guys early and just keep the foot on the gas. That's how you've played this entire week. So the entire previous week, you kept your foot on the gas the entire time. You barely let a team get some time to really breathe. And if you can do that with this Pittsburgh team, you'll wear them fast. They are, as you can tell from the average age of their roster, they're one of the older teams in the league.
Right.
If you can wear these guys down, granted, you know, they're some really high caliber talent in Erik Karlsson, Chris Letang, Evgeny Malkin, right. Sidney Crosby. Like, these guys are really top tier talent. So even trying to wear them down may not be the best option. Just beat them to every puck. That start there. Beat them to every puck. Beat them at the face-off circle. Everything else is going to fall in place from there. This team can fly in the transition. Mm-hmm. If you can just keep that momentum going from the way you played last week, you will walk all over this Pittsburgh Penguins team. You will walk into the Xfinity Mobile Arena, stomp them out, walk out, and then just wait for the next game. Like, mm-hmm. every single game from here is going, in my opinion, now that we're in December and there's still a few months of hockey left. There's still 5 months of hockey starting today. Mm-hmm. Treat every game like it's a win or go home situation, man. Play as hard as you can the rest of the way, because, you know, what was it? I think the 3rd of February is when the international break starts, the 3rd or 4th. And then you don't come back until the 25th. Play your heart out until you hit that break. Take that break, enjoy that time off, come back out and play your heart out again.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I think the thing that I mean, you said it best there, right there too, with the especially with the second half of the season, come back and compete like they did back at the beginning parts of this season. For me, in this game here tonight, I think this is the probably biggest. I mean, it's not a big challenge. I mean, this is not like Crosby and Malkin and Letang in their prime, but they're still pretty good and still effective, though, in every which way. But for me, I would love to see. I mean, we saw it before with these two clubs battle against each other. A little bit of a old time hockey is that the old like this the aficionado with the. I mean, the thing that I want to see in this game here tonight is that just do the same thing like you always do, like we've been saying it for the last couple of times here, and this when we do this podcast here, is that we continue to we always say, I mean, we always thought that there would be a little bit of a crime, obviously, with this team, especially like teams like Florida or maybe like a Carolina or even like a Tampa last week when we saw each other last. But right now, I think if the Flyers can compete every single game like they do, and I mean, I just look forward to the next. I mean, after the Olympic break, when it actually starts to get real. I mean, I can actually say this for the first time in a while, but the Orange Crush will be locked and loaded when that time calls for it, when the postseason comes around, and seeing those orange T-shirts in the crowd. It's like it's gonna feel like, I mean, kind of like the Phillies were in 2022 when about October came back after 11 years, the 11-year drought. I mean, I would say it will just be just as much as that as it was in 2022 with the Phillies, when they had the rally towers and everybody was excited. The only difference is that, I mean, if Trevor Zegras has like his Rhys Hoskins moment, or if it's Matvei Michkov or Tyson Forster, but right now, I mean, I gotta say right now, it just gets me pumped up, especially more importantly than anything, especially here tonight. like a team like Pittsburgh coming into town, and that like old time hockey of the Battle of Pennsylvania is back again, especially this year what the Flyers have been doing. And I think the one thing that I really love to see here in this game here tonight, I just like to see the old fashioned the 2012 Flyers Penguins brawl. I mean, not to that extent though. Obviously, it's a different game than it is now. But just see Nick Deloyer drop the gloves with either like a not Crystal Tang. I don't know who's their big enforcer on that team. But I mean, just to get the team, just to get this give a little bit of juice here, especially. I mean, the one thing I love about it too is that it's finally back. Like we can finally say the Battle of Pennsylvania is finally back here tonight. I mean, it was back a couple weeks ago when the Flyers took on the Penguins a couple weeks ago, but now it's starting to feel like when the Penguins come into town, it's like Dallas week with the Cowboys. You know, it's the same. It feels that mentality of the Battle of Pennsylvania is finally back, and it's going to probably be, and that place up at Xfinity Mobile Arena tonight is going to be lit for sure, no question.
Yeah, I think it is safe to say that hockey in Philadelphia is exciting again.
Yeah.
I feel like we are at that point where with the way this team has been playing so far, I mean, granted, it is still early, but they are an exciting team. They are a team to be watching. Like we haven't seen this kind of capability in play for a Flyers team in a long time, honestly. Yeah. I mean, it's great to see, you know, it's really good talent on this team, top to bottom. I had said it when the move was first made that Trevor Zegras deal was going to be big. I just didn't know it was going to be this big.
This big, right?
I was like, cool. We're getting a really good skill guy who's come from a bit of a middling franchise, who, you know, had a bit of a falling out with the coaching staff, but still has the skill set to be a top tier potential player.
Yep.
I didn't expect him to be this creative on the ice. I mean, I've seen some that he's done. Like I've seen him pull to Michigan. Like I've seen him do all that kind of stuff. I didn't expect him to just overall be this exciting to watch consistently. Every time he gets the stick on his puck, I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. And it's so exciting to watch him play, him and Michkov both. And like I said, the revelation that you have had with Dan Vladar in goal to help sort of bolster the level of talent that you have on this team. And then, you know, moving around the defensive pairs and finding this exciting pair of Jamie Drysdale, Emil Andre, like everything is starting to fall into place more and more as this season goes forward. I'm going to call it now. I think Philadelphia finishes as a 5 seed in the conference and makes the playoffs.
I like it.
They have the ability to do it. We've seen it already. They're right now, if the playoffs started today, they're a 5 seed.
For sure.
I looked at the standings. They're a 5 seed. They're number 5 in the conference. This team could potentially hold that position the rest of the way, maybe even end up in a bit of a battle for 5th, 6th, and find their way into the playoffs with good momentum. Absolutely. This team has everything that you need to be a dark horse in the playoffs, and they will do it. They won't be a very bottom seed for their conference. They'll be a mid seed, but they will surprise a lot of people come postseason play.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you are for sure. I think the other thing too with the Flyers, I always go back to 2010 with this team, especially like how they got into how they were the 7th seed in that postseason, and they ran it. Obviously they ran into a bustle with the Blackhawks, but they were 1 win away from capturing that Stanley Cup final if they forced that Game 7. The other thing too is that I always talk about that 2010 Flyers team. It's like, that's the one thing I loved about it, too, is that, I mean, coming from a guy that lived in Grace Ferry, Mass, majority of my life, and talking about Flyers hockey in the hood, I mean, it was like, I mean, I was talking to one of my neighbors back in the day about, wow, I like that Flyers jersey you got on. I was like, yeah, let's go Flyers. Let's go get that cup, man, you know? And, I mean, even, like, fans that are, like, more that are not interested in hockey, I mean, that whole year, like, the Flyers were, like the 2001 Sixers, you know, they just built a foundation with that team, you know. And the one thing I loved about it too is that obviously, yeah, sure, I was like only 15 years old at the time, but that level of feel I got with this team right now, in the next couple of years or so, I mean, yeah, sure, this year if they make the postseason, and also let's say for example they win a round, and I mean, they lose to like either like a Carolina or not Washington, but more like a team just gets in the way, they'll be right there, right back in it next year for sure. And I'll be looking forward to see what that looks like for that 2026, 2027 season. But right now, I mean, anything is possible in the playoffs. Everybody talks about Cinderella teams and like hockey, especially. I mean, who would have thought back in 2010 with the Canadians and the Flyers being in the Eastern Conference Final, and the Flyers were actually had the home games and that postseason play after having. I mean, and I can't even explain it because it's exciting again, Austin. It's just the level of excitement is back with this club, and I gotta say right now, I mean, sure, I mean. There's going to be a lot of good fly. I mean, I just hope whatever it is at the second half of the season, that momentum continues to go the back. I mean, what they have right now is a great thing too. But once they have that momentum going forward into the next second half of the season, I mean, this team could be really exciting come playoff time.
Yeah, and I feel like more than anything, aside from it being a credit to the talent and capability that this team has, this is a huge credit to Rick Tocchet. Like, for sure. He has got this team to already buy in. They are playing every single game like it's their last one, and they have made, like I said, they made hockey in Philadelphia exciting again. Yep. And it's everything that you've wanted this team to do for a while, and you're finally starting to get it. So enjoy it while it's here. You know, these windows are usually 3 to 5. So if this is the beginning of that window opening,
oh wow, yeah,
hell yeah. If this is the beginning of that window opening, buckle up.
Oh yeah.
This team with the youth injection that they have with all these good talented players, this can happen for a while.
Yeah.
You know, Couturier
right.
may have, you know, another 3 to 5 years left in him at best. So if you can have him anchoring as like a leader for those years, to pair with the skill that Michkov and Zegras have, with the tenacity that Konechny has, the incredible shot capability of both Tyson Forrester and Owen Tippett, like this team has the potential to have that window begin to open this year, if not this year, next year for sure.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too, because I got like I said before. I mean, with this Flyers team, it's like once they make the postseason, anything is possible. I mean, they could be like the hottest team in hockey going into the postseason, and then they make a cup run. You know, you never know what in the postseason. I mean, yeah, there's like dare I say Cinderella teams out there, but the real thing is that the Flyers, once they make the postseason, I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a homer here, but I actually see them do very well in the postseason. I mean, not to the extreme going to the final, but I mean, if they get past this first round and then they say, for example, like go to the conference final and they're like right there. I mean, right then and there, it's going to be like, okay, we got to the conference final. Now we know what it takes to get to the Stanley Cup Finals and actually, let's say, for example, break that drought for the first time in hard to believe almost 50 plus years of not winning a Stanley Cup. And kudos, and I gotta say this too. I mean, I don't talk this much about what happened with the Bernie Perron situation, but every time when they celebrate this year and everybody wearing the gold Bernie Perron's mask, it's like he's with us. You know, he's helping this team. Like, and even Rick Tocchet too. Like, I mean, sure, back in the day, we will always say, okay, another ex-Flyer. I mean, like, we got to stop talking about that 74-75 team. But overall, the reason why the Flyers are playing to the capability that they have right now is because of that old school mentality, like the Bernie Perron sprung, and also Rick Tocchet, who was as a player and now as a coach. I mean, and sure, the outsider system didn't work with John Tortorella. I mean, it worked with Laviolette for sure in 2010. But, I mean, this team right now is I have to say right now, I haven't felt this excited for a Flyers team in quite a while. I mean, it's probably hard to believe that the last time I seen an exciting Flyers team was probably the last time was the Flyers and the Penguins in 2012, going to admit. And we'll talk about our favorite Flyers-Penguins moment in the next segment here. But this is just the one thing I love about this team. They compete every single night. And that's been their mentality all year long. They've been resilient. They compete. And sometimes when they lose a game, they're not like annoying losses. I mean, they compete every single game. They play 100 110% every single night. And the most important thing about it too, that can actually translate into the postseason when April comes around too.
Yeah, this is a team that I feel like is going to be the primest definition of all you needed to do was get your foot in the door. This I feel like this team can get, if they can make their way into the playoffs, they will make a lot of noise.
Mm-hmm.
It may only be for 1, maybe 2 rounds, but the noise that they make will send a reverberation through the Eastern Conference. Like, hey man, Philadelphia may have been dead for a while, but we're back.
Mm-hmm.
This is that level of Flyers hockey that, like, if you are a fan and you sort of fallen off a little bit, I know I did for a bit in the Tortorella years.
As did I.
Now is the time to get back in, because holy crap, has this been exciting hockey to watch. Just that Florida game alone, dude. It was 37 seconds left when Forrester scored to put us ahead 3-2.
Right.
And then 15 seconds later, we score again to put it away. Like, the New Jersey game, you know, looking like New Jersey's going to battle back. 2 big time shot blocks out on the point. The second one is by Tyson Forrester on a separate play, starts to get ahead. You're like, he's got this. Immediately gets tripped up. The ref awards the goal. Game is done. Like,
well, there was another one that was like a 2-on-1, and then I think it was like Zegras who like had the twisted wrister or something. No, like it was a pass. I think Zegras passed it, and I think Michkov either. Like it was like a one-timer. I forget what it was, but it was a good play.
They've been establishing themselves they've been establishing themselves really well in the offensive zone. I mean, the power play could be a bit better, but for a middle of the pack power play team, they play the power play very well.
They do.
You know, they're not afraid to take shots. Like, that was one of the issues that we had for years with this team, was they were not shooting on the power play.
Right.
And we're getting really good looks this year. Granted, a lot of them haven't gone the way we've hoped they would, but man, oh man, are those shots that they take, they're not afraid to take them, and they are really good lanes to be able to take those shots in. And then on top of that, partner in the incredible penalty kill that we've had so far this year. Like, this team is clicking a lot. And if, like I said, if you sort of fell off like I did for a little bit, get back in. Trust me. Just even if you're just watching highlights, even from the highlights, the games still are exciting.
They are.
And it's
as I feel again.
Yeah, like I said, Philadelphia has not had too many defeats where you feel like they just didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that Dallas game, they didn't really show up.
Sure, yeah.
Aside from that, every game that we've played, we've fought the entire time. Like that Tampa game is the primest example. If you did not watch that Tampa game live, go watch the highlights on the NHL YouTube channel. Trust me. That game was hectic. Philadelphia was fighting so hard to get a puck in the net. And you literally felt like if they did, it would have been curtains for Tampa.
Sure.
Because of just how aggressive Philadelphia was with trying to get the puck forward and get it on net. Like this team just has the fight to be that team this year that everyone's like, hey, are they legit? Like if I feel like they have that kind of momentum right now where like people should be wondering if Philadelphia is a legitimate team right now. And I will answer that question for you. Yes, they are.
Damn right.
They absolutely are. The way they've been playing this year, if people aren't already noticing, they're going to come into your town to play your team and dog walk you.
Right.
It's not going to just be like a physical game. Like, we are going to work you over completely, and not only physically, but we're also you're going to look up at that scoreboard and it's going to say 6-1.
Right.
Like, it's just it's this
incredible.
Right. The words that I've been using this entire year, it is incredible grit and tenacity that this team has.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm going to say the favorite Flyers Penguin moment until the end of the show. So, basically, with the look ahead for the Flyers is the big storyline coming into this game here tonight. We talked about it earlier. The physical type of hockey that this Flyers team shows every single game is probably one of the reasons why where they are at right now. I think that's the most important thing. And the other thing too that really surprised me a couple of days ago with this Flyers team, a last minute goal against the Cup champs. I mean, who does that? You know, I mean, who does? I mean, you would have thought the Panthers would do something like that with like Carter Verhaeghe or maybe like Matthew Tkachuk if he was healthy, or like I mean, the Devils, on the other hand, I mean, yeah, sure, they were like you said it best a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you said it or Joey said it, but now with Jack Hughes being out, that's going to cause a concern for the Devils, especially with on the outside looking in. And even the Islanders game, scoring 2 goals in a matter of 20 seconds of each other it's incredible. I mean, it's the one thing I love about this team is that they compete every single game. It's like I feel like too how the Flyers were. I mean, the Flyers to me are a reason why that I always look forward to April, because that I mean obviously we always think about April being opening day of the Phillies. We always think that's the end of March Madness after a great March Madness and all that, and then Villanova successful years and all that too. But every time I mark my calendar down, it's either like April 11th. That was the last time, like around mid-April, when the postseason play comes around and when the hockey playoffs come around. And I always tell my uncle or my friends of mine, it's like, damn, I wish the Flyers will be in the postseason because I miss that feel about the Flyers being relevant. And now it feels like now more than anything is that the way they're playing right now is that orange and black orange crush in April will be, I mean, that place will be jumping in April, and I hope, and if they continue to go down this road, I mean, before a couple of years ago, when John Tortorella got this team to the post, I mean, he almost had one game left to get them into the postseason, but I think it was like Detroit got in the way or Washington got in the way, this, that, and the other. So now it's like
it was both.
I think it was both. Yeah, I think it was both more than anything. I agree. So for me, I think for sure I'm right there with you. I think the Flyers will be a 5th seed. I mean, and that will be a good thing to too, especially if they are a 5th seed and they take on a team. I mean, 4th and 5th seed are actually they're kind of like neck and neck of each other. I mean, obviously it's not like a 2 and a 7 or a 1 versus 8, but 4 and 5, like being like either a 4th or 5th seed, that's not bad. That's actually that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, and if the playoffs started today, it would be a series against the Capitals starting in Washington.
Okay. Which, that's not bad.
Which, I'm not going to lie, the storyline of the upstart Philadelphia Flyers against Ovi and what could potentially be his final playoff run is kind of big. Like, I'm not going to lie, like that's huge competing storylines right there.
Trying to eliminate Ovechkin from getting this, trying to eliminate the greatest goal scorer. Oh, that would be that would be epic, man.
What a storyline! Not only is Philadelphia an upstart team making a playoff run, but they send Ovi out in what could potentially be his last year.
Oh my god! Oh man, dude, that would be rad, man. That would be so sick,
so poetic, dude. I would be all on board for that storyline matchup.
Yeah, man. I mean that's how I feel about it too. You know, if that's Ovechkin's like way to go out, especially if we eliminate him, that would be pretty cool. That would be like the Eagles beating Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes in the last couple Super Bowls. So it would be that iconic. I mean, that's how I mean, yeah, sure, Ovechkin's the greatest goal scorer that ever lived. Obviously, if he comes back and also tries to come back and tries goes for goals and like probably score 1,000 maybe, but I don't see it happening. He's got 900. So if Ovechkin does come back next year, I mean, sure, I mean, we'll worry about that when the time calls for it. But still, I mean, Ovechkin versus the Flyers. I mean, that should be. That could be a very good matchup, and I'll be looking forward to seeing that, especially if that becomes a legitimate more than anything.
Yeah, and it's just fun to speculate right now, honestly, more than anything, just because of the fact that Ovi's not even their top goal scorer this year; it's Tom Wilson, which is crazy,
right?
Because Tom Wilson was such a pest for so long.
he turned into Ovechkin.
Yeah, like, and another crazy thing is Ovi's at 909. Right. It would probably take him like 2-3 more years to crack 1,000, and he looks like he has that gas in the tank.
He does.
Like, I'm just being honest here. Like, I know it's sort of going off topic here, but like Over
No, I'm
looks
with
like
you.
he could maybe play like 3-4 more years the way he's
Right.
playing so far this season. But he could easily crack 1,000. Definitely could crack 1,000. Give that man the time to be able to do it, and by God, he'll do it.
Hey, look, if he still thinks he can do it, he can still do it. I mean, obviously, here's the other thing too with Ovechkin. It's just that, the thing with Ovechkin is that he could score 1,000 if he wants to. But the question is, though, would he want to do it, or is it going to be like that? It's going to be something like that has to be talked between his wife and kids about. Okay, does he still want to continue to do this? Obviously, I mean, retirement is undefeated. Fatherhood's undefeated too for sure. So, I mean, I looked at Tom Brady. The same thing too is that when he retired, when he won those 7 Super Bowls, I said to myself, when is he ever going to retire? I mean, that's the same thing I feel about Ovechkin. But the other thing with Ovechkin, though, he's not. The one thing I love about Ovechkin is that even though he's scoring these goals, and also that when he scored 895 last year, it's like, yeah, that's what has to happen with hockey nowadays. Is that there's not a lot of there's a future that has like upcoming stars in the making, like the Connor Bedards and the Malcolm Celebrinis, and the list goes on and on too. But Ovechkin coming to town was like LeBron James coming to town when he was with the Cavs, or Kobe with the Lakers, or maybe for me it was going to Mike Modano and the Stars coming to town, because obviously I was a big Dallas Stars fan growing up. But I never saw Ovechkin play. I saw Crosby a couple of times here and there at when he came to South Philly. The only difference was with Crosby was when he was a real prick, he was like Tom Wilson a little bit. But now seeing Tom Wilson turn into translate into a goal scorer, it's like I mean, maybe that's the funniest thing about it is just that even though I think of Tom Wilson, I think, God, this guy's like another Matthew Barnaby. It would be like Matthew Barnaby turns into a goal scorer or something.
Yeah, it would like to put it into like that era of hockey. It would have been like if like you said, like Matthew Barnaby became like a Mike Modano,
right? Or Brett Hull.
It would have been the weirdest thing to see that kind of transition happen essentially overnight. Because I'll fill you in on a fun fact. I keep tabs on Tom Wilson.
Sure.
Anytime I find a really dirty player, I keep an eye on that guy. Yeah. He hasn't been suspended at all this year. Which is surprising because that is surprising. Over under per season's like 2.5 times.
Oh my God.
This man has not been suspended at all this year, which is incredible for him. Because he's usually already been suspended at least once within the first 3-4 months of his season.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, yeah, with Tom Wilson's like you got to keep.
He would blindside the hell out of somebody.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Nick Deloyer like has no one else to like drop the gloves with now. It's not Tom Wilson who's going to drop the gloves with. Some guy named like Rasmus Sandin or something.
Honestly, though, I feel like it's only a matter of time before someone pushes the wrong button on Tom Wilson and he ruins them.
Yep. That's the thing. I mean, I remember all these years with Tom Wilson. It's just like I mean, he couldn't stay out of the penalty box for pardon my French, but couldn't for Jack. He couldn't get out of the penalty. That's the thing. I mean, now he's becoming a goal scorer. It's like, wait a second. So who would be the Capitals' enforcer when things are starting to get rocky out of control? Is it Fioravari, or it's Sandin, or is it the other guy, Protus, like the other guy? So I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I mean, seeing Tom Wilson as a scorer now, it's kind of like opposite day or something. It's like Bizarro World.
Yeah, it's looking like they're. I mean, he does lead the team in penalty minutes with 54.
I figured that.
Right behind him though is Jacob Chikrin.
Oh, there you go, Chikrin. That's right.
Yeah,
well, Chikrin won't drop the gloves though. I'd say Chikrin
not as much as he used to. Chikrin used to be a gamer, But he's up there. You know what I mean? He's up there in age. He's definitely not playing the way he used to play. But like Nick Dowd can still cause some problems.
Maybe Dowd, yeah.
Brandon Duhaime can still cause a little bit of issue. But like,
what about Leonard? What about Ryan Leonard? You think Leonard will be a guy like that?
I think overall Washington's just trying to play a bit more of a cleaner game, and Tom Wilson understands that
for sure.
He's like, look, man, like I feel like it was like they sat him down. They were like, look, dude, what you've been doing, not gonna lie, we love it, but also we kind of hate it. We need to clean it up, and we need to play a bit more of a cleaner game. And he went, okay.
just like that. Just like
immediately became an incredible goal scorer.
it's like he went into rehab and he became a different man.
Yeah, like honestly, it kind of gives me like, if you remember like how Chris Kreider was for a while, like he was more of a pest because the dude would crash the net with everything he had.
Well, I feel the same way about PK Subban too.
Yeah, but like once people realize with Kreider, they're like, oh, he's not a dickhead. He's just crashing the net really hard and just gets shoved down. He still did it, but he became a lot better of a player when people were like, we can't give him as much crap as we used to. Because he's a guy that's just playing the game the way it's meant to be played. You crash the net as often and as hard as you can. And it wound up paying off for Kreider. And now I think with Wilson, it's like they're like, originally they were like, you're our do anything guy.
Right.
He was like, all right, cool. So his anything was do anything to everyone that isn't your team. And then they're like, hey man, remember when we said do anything? We meant like you can take a body or I don't know, put a puck in the net. And he went, oh, that I got you. Hang on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it would be like another thing too here. I keep on forgetting his name. I just have this. Dubinsky. It would be like Brandon Dubinsky turns into like a forcer into a goal scorer. You know, it's kind of like how Dubinsky was a real pain in the ass too.
Like how like Nick
or Foligno's
his career, like he was both of them were just like game to take on anybody, and then they were like, hey man, you're like 30 now,
yeah,
let's try and save your body a little bit. And they went, okay.
Or Bufflin, or Justin Bufflin, becoming a scorer.
Yeah, and they were like, they're just like, hey man, like let's try and not wear yourself down by fighting everybody all the time. they were like, yeah, sure, you got it. Which I feel like also like goes to the mental pliability of hockey players when you really think about it, because a lot of these guys, they're taught coming up, they're like, do anything and everything you can to be able to make yourself an impact on an NHL roster. That's exactly what they've done. Like Tom Wilson made his impact in the physical game.
Sure.
And then when you finally become like that guy that they need, they're like, hey man, you want to? We think maybe you should try and change your role up a little bit here. How would you feel about having the puck on your stick a lot more? And they're just like, yeah, you got it. And then they just go and do it. Like it's incredible to have a player be like, I will do whatever it takes to get here and stay here. And then once they're there, the team's like, hey man, could you change up your game a little bit? And they're like, yeah, and
just like that.
It helps with the staying power.
Sure.
Like being that malleable for as a player for a coach is big.
Oh yeah.
Like knowing that you can take a guy that's been just like your guy that for faceoffs. Like think of it in like levels of like the way Sean Couturier plays. Like his main thing when he first came up was he could win faceoffs really, really well. Like very often, very consistent at the dots. And then over time, the rest of his game evolved around that. Mm-hmm. So he's still good at faceoffs. And they were like, hey man, you're great at faceoffs. Let's work on you trying to find people on the ice to get open men to be able to put shots on goal and in the net. And he started doing that. And he became a really good puck movement guy. And then they're like, hey man, we're getting to the point where we may need you to be in more of a leadership role. Would you be cool with, holding the puck a lot more and, looking towards the net a bit? He was like, yeah. So he started putting more pucks in the net, still also finding guys, still also winning in the faceoff circle. What comes with that was his capability to be really staunch on the penalty kill and to be an extreme asset on the power play. So it's like once a couple of things have to shift, other pieces fall into place for the progression of a player. And it's more visible in hockey than it is in most other sports.
Yeah, no question.
Because of how often you're just consistently rotating through these guys. Like we've seen with the buildup of Emil Andre this year.
Right.
He was a guy who was a third pair defenseman to start the season. And we didn't think he was going to get a lot of work. And he's been making the most of every opportunity. He's being as pliable as possible for Rick Tocchet. And it's been getting him these opportunities. He's starting to play a lot better, like you saw last week.
Yep.
And he's in this position to be a top pair defenseman now with Jamie Drysdale. Like,
right.
It's such a quick evolution that seeing these opportunities that he's being able to take and run with is just more to not only the players buying into what Tocchet is trying to do with them as a team as a whole, but each individual player be willing to change the way they play to make the team better. Right. And you're seeing that with a lot of guys. Like Tom Wilson's a prime example. He was a guy that, was consistently that pest type of dude. He would take some extra liberties with somebody, that kind of thing, get suspended a lot. This year, clean. Does he have a lot of penalty minutes? Yeah, that's kind of expected. It's still Tom Wilson at the end of the day, but he's their top goal scorer, which is incredible. So like, it's big to the capability where the best ability is availability.
Right. That's the thing too. And maybe like the thing about it too is the Eagles should learn something about that too. Like the last couple games, I mean, the way you said it there perfectly, I think that's exactly what the Eagles need to get back to, especially if they want to get back in postseason play. But obviously, this is a Flyers podcast, so we won't want to disturb our beloved Eagles, and also want to talk some more pucks here. But I mean, I agree.
I will say this really quick in terms of that. It's a lot tougher with football to do that because each player plays a very specific role.
Right.
It's a lot tougher for an offensive guard to become more dynamic in the offense.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where with hockey, it's everyone has an opportunity to be an offensive player and a defensive player. So you have more opportunity to showcase both sets of skills. Where with football, it's like you're a wide receiver, you're predominantly going to be catching the ball. You're an offensive lineman, you're just going to block. Like it's a lot tougher to see a bigger evolution in terms of being more capable to take on more of a role. Like you can, if like, say you're, I don't know, like second, third string offensive tackle and one of the guards goes out and you have to play over there. Sure, that you can get it there, but you don't ever really see like, oh, one of the top wide receivers is down. Hey, Thoth is out on the wide as the number 2 receiver.
Yeah,
like,
right.
You're not going to see an offensive lineman all of a sudden become like a top tier tight end or like a wide receiver. I mean, sure, we saw it with who was it? Was it Brandon Ayuk who made the transition to be like a wide receiver / running back?
Sure, yeah.
Like you see it in fits and bursts sometimes. Like we're seeing it with Travis Hunter. Unfortunately, he's injured for the rest of the year. He's on IR down there in Jacksonville.
Right.
But you're starting to see a bit of an evolution, like how you saw with Ohtani in baseball. These guys that are willing to do 2 roles and still be viable in both and help your team win.
Right.
Like you're seeing it with Travis Hunter. Granted, Jacksonville's a bit of a weird place for football.
Sure.
But it's not very often that you see a guy go from one position to another and still be the same level of player that they are at that position.
Right.
But like, not saying there's not that opportunity for it to happen. Tim Tebow tried to make a comeback in the NFL as a tight end. Did it work?
Yeah,
no.
That's right.
Did it work? No. Did a lot of people suggest to him, hey, maybe you should switch over to being a halfback instead of a quarterback going into the draft? He said no. I mean, he had a great career as a quarterback. It wasn't, GOAT level stuff, but I mean, he had a serviceable enough career as a quarterback. But I feel like what would have been if he had decided to switch to running back.
Right.
Like, I feel like the most prolific guy that you can find in terms of like playing to the best of his ability whenever the opportunity is given is Bo Jackson. One of the better running backs of his era, and also a very solid baseball player.
That's right.
It's one of those things where, like, usually with a sport where you're sort of forced into a box, you find your way out of that box through another sport.
Mm-hmm.
Where with hockey, it's, oh, dude, my offense hasn't been kicking recently. I'm just going to be a really solid defensive player, and that defense will eventually lead me to good offense again.
Right.
So like it's a lot of this weird like give and take with the game.
Yeah, and that's the thing too.
It's just more like, again, like I'm gonna quit my rambling here, but the mental tenacity of a hockey player to be able to, sort of fit and flex their way into keeping themselves around for as long as they can through progression of their game is just incredible, and you don't see it in any other sport, and it's a beautiful thing.
That's true. Yeah, and that's the thing too. I think we both agree on that too. All right, cool. So this is gonna be a fun one to talk about here. So I this is like a new topic here, obviously, since the Flyers. I mean, it's only just for tonight, obviously, until maybe the next time the Flyers take on the Penguins. And I'll try to I guess I read this. I guess the other thing too is that we always talk about the city of the Flyers and Penguins. Always for years has been a bone to pick for so many years. So Austin, I'll ask you this: do you got a favorite Flyers Penguin moment before we get out of here?
I do, and I will just say this: the shift.
Right, I got this hat right here for no. But yeah, I mean
that Claude Giroux shift.
That was a great game
for
too.
For the momentum that the Flyers had going into that series was everything encapsulated into one moment for that year.
Right.
The great strong face-off fight by Giroux, finding Sidney Crosby up against the boards, blowing him up, getting the puck out to Couturier, finding himself into a shooting lane to get the puck back and put it in the net to put your team up to start a game. Incredible. And it was playoff hockey, so it was even more of a momentum swing.
Yep. That basically opened up like the first time I actually said Claude Giroux was captain material. For me, I'm in the same boat as you as that 2012 year. Obviously, the shift was Game 6 of that year, but I go back to Game 3. Of that game, and it was actually that series altogether. Because like you think about Game 1 in that game, they came back after being down 3-0, and it was like Jake Voracek winning that game in overtime. And then Game 3 came in about, and I was watching that game, and I never seen old-time a brawl that crazy than I saw what Sidney Crosby, like, just move, whatever he was doing, he was either pushing Jake Voracek's...
Goofing with Timonin's glove.
Yep.
Yeah.
That to me was like... That was like Dave Schultz and like Reggie Lee, like a whole brawl just happened. I watched that maybe a few times, and I said to myself, damn, Crosby was such a prick in that series. I mean, I want to try to keep it PG here. I mean, try to keep it PG to our friend.
Sid was everything back then.
It was
man. He was people loved to hate him and hated to love him.
Right.
And I feel like at that time, the NHL needed that kind of a player.
Right.
They needed a guy who had the skill set to be a great player, but also had that mentality to be, again, sort of doing just what you just did, being that prick that can get under a team's skin to throw them off of their game.
Right.
And then you get your game thrown off by this guy. And then he comes in on the left-handed shot coming down the right wing and just roofing a backhander into your net, and you watch him celebrate the game winner. Like, he had everything that you needed at that time to be that guy, and we got every bit of it. As Philadelphia Flyers fans, we caught every single bit of it. The whole thing with Darian Hatcher knocking his tooth out, and then he scores the game winner, and seeing him like teeth clenched, like celebrating that goal, missing a tooth. Like, it was so, like, I am not the biggest Sidney Crosby fan.
Sure.
But I still appreciate what he has done in his time in the league enough to know that I hate him.
Yeah, right. That's all that matters. That's all that matters, right? For me, I go back I go back to another one that was similar to a brawl like this. I think a friend of mine showed me this. I think it was like saying, "Dude, you ever see the 2000 brawl between the Flyers and the Penguins?" And this was like Rick Tocchet and
Oh
I think it was
yeah.
Matthew Barnaby. I watched it. I said to myself, "Damn!" I mean, even
Mhm.
I mean, even seeing Rick Tocchet against his former team, obviously. But yeah, that was another big one
Yeah.
that is a little bit in the blender that I never got the chance to see because obviously I was a young buck at the time. But no, man, I mean that series. I mean, I think it was around that same time too. Like with that brawl, I think it was the 5 overtime game against the
Yep.
Penguins that didn't end until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I remember being up watching that entire game.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, dude, that was when Brian Boucher got put on the map as a Flyers goaltender.
Yeah,
If you didn't already know who he was from the whole season leading up to that,
yep.
that was his defining moment for that year.
We also mind you too that was the same game that Keith Jones did register a point in that game. Like no hits, no
Yeah,
like less
registered a
than nothing.
completely empty score sheet. Yeah,
Yep.
aside from ice time,
Right.
this is the only thing that was put on his stat block, dude. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, the other one I got to give credit to too is that when Mario, I mean, a little bit of nostalgic one, but Mario Lemieux coming back after being diagnosed with cancer, and
yeah. After beating cancer, yeah.
and the fans giving him a standing ovation at the Spectrum was like
Yup.
that was really cool too.
The true two ends of the spectrum for Philadelphia fans, man.
Yeah,
Loving watching two teams brawl it out and then showing respect to a guy who had an incredible battle off the ice and was able to make a return after what 2-3 years.
something
I
like that.
think it
Yeah,
was like a season or two. Yeah, it was. God, dude, like when you say that, like when I say that Sidney Crosby was everything for Pittsburgh at that time,
hmm,
Mario Lemieux was even more than that for them then
right,
because he was literally the face of hockey at that time. It
right,
was Mario Lemieux,
for sure.
and to have him step away, having to battle that,
Yeah,
you not only as a Penguin fan but as a hockey fan, like you lose the guy for the league, and
hmm,
if you're a Penguins fan, you lose your guy for your team.
right,
And you don't know if he's coming back because cancer can go one way or another, and
right.
to see him be able to get himself back into game shape after winning the battle and being able to set foot on ice in a regulation game again was just it was everything at that moment.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess the last one I'll say here too is that 2011 offseason that the Flyers brought Jaromir Jagr in as a Flyer is also pretty cool to see that Jagr salute like
Yeah.
it was back in that old days. I remember where I was when that happened. I said to myself, "Is wait a second, he's coming to us now. He's on our side. It's like all these years he used to be a thorn on our side, and
Dude, yeah.
seeing that number
That was
68 was like
oh yeah.
seeing
That was an incredible line for the Flyers that time too.
was
It was Couturier at center, a young Sean Couturier at center, Claude Giroux and Jaromir Jagr on either side of him, man.
yep.
How incredible of a line would that have been
Oh
if
man,
if you put 2 more years on Couturier and maybe took 1 year back from Giroux?
right,
How like Jagr, you don't even need it doesn't matter what year you pick for Jagr. Every year
sure,
was productive, man. And to put him to put that level of talent in a Jaromir Jagr and the talent that Giroux had around a developing Sean Couturier was so beautiful. Like
amazing.
that whole season was incredible, man.
It was.
The way those three guys worked together was beautiful.
Yeah, it was it was probably the one year I say to myself, if the Devils didn't get in the way, we could have won that cup. I think that was
Yeah,
for sure. And
honestly.
also Briskalov too being the way. Like being
Yeah.
the knucklehead he
Ugh.
was. If you got like Dan Vladar from this generation
If you
from in
honestly,
2020,
even in that time frame, if you would have gotten literally any other goaltender
sure.
that wasn't Ilya Brizgalov, you would have been in the money.
Right.
It
Bobrovsky was a
would have been
perfect
such a good run. Yeah, Bobrovsky was starting to show promise the previous year.
mm-hmm.
You spend all this money on a mid Ilya Brizgalov coming off of a down year in Phoenix,
Right.
and then because you're like, we got our guy, you ship Bobrovsky all. I mean, granted, you got a good return sending Bobrovsky out to Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do that, I don't think you get Voracek.
Right.
And then because of that move, I don't think you get Braden Shen or Wayne Simmons either.
Right.
You
That's
don't
right.
make those moves. You don't solidify a core that lasted for 7-8 years
Right.
in Voracek, Giroux, Simmons
Yeah.
for Philadelphia. The whole landscape of that team would have shifted incredibly, and we don't know what way it could have went.
Yeah, I mean that's the big if. Like it's kind of like that history will be made commercial. Was it Ed, what if Ed Snyder never got Ilya Bryzgalov and kept Richardson Carter, and then we got
Yeah.
like kept Bobrovsky? I mean, history will be made, right? You know what I mean?
Or even what if Pronger didn't take that high stick to the eye, man? Like
Right? Sure.
there's so many what ifs. Like I feel like Pronger would have had another really strong 2 or 3 years before he had decided to hang it up if it wasn't for that eye injury in Toronto.
I know. Yeah, and that's the thing I worry about it too, because I remember watching that team, and I said to myself, when I saw that, I mean, that was the same night Yager scored his first goal as a Flyer, hard to believe.
Yeah.
And I remember like Pronger going down, and I was like, oh shit.
There
You
were players on the bench that said that, when it came to Chris Pronger, he was never really one to show a lot of emotion. When that happened, they said they could hear him screaming from down the tunnel. And it was the first time they ever heard him like express any pain or anything.
Right.
And I feel like that happening to him was sort of the beginning of the end for that window for Philadelphia.
Yeah, I do agree. We'll probably talk more about that and later shows here, but yeah, I mean that was probably the last thing I'll say about this too. Is that the Flyers, if they didn't have those injuries, and also with Bryzgalov, a lot of things will be different for sure.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to wrap it up here today for this edition of This Week at Flyers Hockey. I just had another podcast in mind. So I want to thank Austin Hammel for joining me once again here today. Austin, where can people see you next, my friend?
This upcoming Saturday, me and Art are back for the Hardcore Play podcast, and I still need to get in touch with him with what he would think about it, but I think we might be talking about Fallout New Vegas, which is, in my opinion, the best game in the Fallout series. But in the meantime, until Saturday comes, I actually just started playing it over at twitch.tv/Hambo26. Black Friday deals hit Steam on Friday, and I saw the Ultimate Edition with all the DLCs on sale for $8, and I had to scoop it up. It was an absolute must grab, click buy. But yeah, I mean, I just started, so probably put about 2 hours into it today. I'm going to be continuing it in probably around 6:30 p.m. So if you don't follow me over there, make sure you do so. I am on the road to 200 follows. Nice. Fun thing is going to happen when I hit 200. It's going to involve this being gone.
Sure, yeah.
I am
awesome, man.
My plan is when I hit 200 follows, I'm going to shave my head live on stream.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Are you serious?
I literally, I think the closest I've come to it is I think I did like a 3 all around a couple times when I was younger, but I've never been clean shaven off the top. The beard's going to stay. The beard stays no matter what. It's just this up here. Control A, backspace.
Wow.
I am going
crazy,
to look
man.
So weird when 200 followers hits on that channel, man. But
man, I'll be looking forward to that, man.
If you miss out on any of the live streams, I do my best to try and export them all from my Twitch over to my YouTube of the same name. I'm actually in the process of going through all of my clips from 2024 on my Twitch channel, and I'm going to be putting together a compilation of my top clips of the year. Probably going to debut it on the Twitch channel and then post the raw video over to YouTube. So it's going to be like my little, I'm finally learning actual video editing kind of project. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And then of course, next week, same time, same place here for This Week in Flyers Hockey.
Cool. Sounds good, man. All right, so that's going to do it for us here today. I apologize for Joey not being here. I guess he's still under the weather. He'll be back very, very soon. I'm hoping me and him will be back for this week. Nah, this week. I'm sorry. We got a Pass and App Sports Show hopefully this week. So we'll be talking about hopefully the Eagles, hopefully getting their priority straight against the Chargers. We got some Flyers talk. We'll probably talk some Sixers talk too along the way. So always remember, if you're a new subscriber, recent subscriber, or just a subscriber already, hit that like and subscribe button over at Hardcore Sports Network and our sister station, Streampunk Entertainment. If I can find it. All right, here it is. So it's at Hardcore Sports Network and Streampunk Entertainment. And also, just if you like this show, give us a thumbs up, and we'll hopefully see you guys next week. So now for everyone behind the scenes and for everyone that made it work, for Austin and for myself and Joey Marks and everybody else here on This Week in Flyers Hockey, and from all of us to all of you, enjoy the game, everybody, tonight, and we'll see you guys next week. Good night and good hockey, and we'll see you soon.